I think first of all, I would like to start by acknowledging the fact that so many of you have found time to come here for this day and a half of conversations. It is extremely reassuring and hugely humbling. The one thing that I've been ever anxious about since I turned entrepreneur was that, when we set out to do something which is an audacious idea, but the gap between the idea and implementation is so huge, so humongous, that, until 110, 115, I was very, very anxious. I even tweeted that. I was nervous. Yeah, you want 250 guys to come in a hall and sit, and it is only by invitation. It is being given to the deans of research of universities, vice chancellors, chancellors, CXOs, innovators, CEOs. It's not an easy task. So I would first of all start by acknowledging that you being here is a matter of great reassurance to us, to our team, and to each one of us. So one round of applause to yourselves. I was doing a little bit of a back of the envelope calculation and looking at the registrations and confirmations. We have academic leaders here in this room who are, wittingly or unwittingly, we are facilitating over 1 million youngsters on our campuses. And the market cap of the companies whose CXOs, CEOs, heads are sitting here, that's over $150 billion. We don't, we are all absolutely a speck in the universe, but a collection of such specks in this room is non-trivial, as Susie keeps using it as a word. So let's make this count, and I feel absolutely responsible for the outcomes of this day and a half. Anything goes wrong, if somebody has to go and shot in the temple, it's only me. If anything goes right, we'll celebrate it collectively. So we want to make this an event which you take away something and you give away something which is a huge takeaway for someone else. With those opening remarks, I would want to get into the session. I have one confession also to make. I am an absolutely incorrigible optimist. I'm a great believer in this, our culture, our society. It's not necessarily limited by India, the geopolitical entity, but our region. And all the take that I'm going to share with you is colored by that. If you disagree with me, catch me alone and beat me up. Don't do it here. Okay? We'll go. Next slide, please. This has been a country of innovation. I have never, ever been able to digest, when we were graduating out of business schools, joined the corporate sector, we were told that, India is not a country of entrepreneurs. India is not that. India is not this. It never made any sense to me. I mean, go all the way back. It just is replete with evidences of the society has innovated and innovated and innovated and innovated. We lost a little bit of way sometime for about 200, 300 years, but we are quickly catching up and getting there. I'll come to that. So 27% of of the world GDP was ours 350 years ago. But from 1750 to 1950, we came down to less than 1%. The estimates are anywhere between 0.2% to 0.9%. It took 250, 300 years to kind of get us to that place. And a country of 30 crores, it has traveled to a country of 120 crores. In these 70 years, we are back. We are back. I think let's keep moving. Next slide, please. I'm giving you evidences. Innovation, the giving of zero, and I'm not one who's going to kind of harp too long on our past. Our future is even more glorious. However, if in the right context, with the right kind of self-criticality, if I don't acknowledge the great past that we have, we will never have the energy to be able to look at the future from a location of adequacy. And when I say that, look at the grammar. Sanskrit. Sanskrit is still considered to be the only language that is closest to algorithmable, programmable language, which is what the computer language is. So it's not something you and I discovered, and it is something we know. Brexit is happening now. We did Brexit through non-violence 70 years ago, and not a gun was shot. Imagine the innovation to move a country of 30 crore people to earn independence. It's an absolute adequacy-led one idea of a person who affected another and another and another. It became a movement. Nobody had an IP on this. We've done that. Paper use. We're talking about paper use now. Pathakji has done it in 30 years ago through Sulabh. So there is a lot of things. We're talking about a couple of milestones. I think we will cross in the next few years. So my hypothesis is that we are not a developing nation. We are not a developing region. We are a reclaiming region. We will get to a 27%. And when we get to a 27%, I think that would not be the only measure on which we will be evaluated as a society. There's also another context where I always believe that measuring a society by just the GDP is as inane as it can get. There are so many more things. That's the iceberg under the water. We should find a metricized way of measuring all the iceberg under the water.